We're back to the Neil Haley Show, and I'm excited about another new show to the network, Your Beautiful Day on Gratitude Radio Network as well. We're simulcasting, and I'm with JennMog. And Jenn, we have an exciting guest, and I thought this is the perfect celebrity guest first for you because of the fact of the matter that's awesome about it is she is just like you, entertainer, mother, it's a perfect fit for your first celebrity interview simulcasting with me. So JennMog, thanks for stopping by, and I'm excited about our guest.
Thank you, and welcome to A Beautiful Day. I'm Jennifer, Mother of Gratitude. With me is Pearl Sharenza, my life coach and best friend.
Hello, everybody. I'm excited to be here with you all today.
And if there's one thing that we do know of, it is gratitude. And so today I'm very happy and thankful to have Diane Franklin a part of our show. Not only is she an amazing woman of gratitude, mother of gratitude, she has 2 children. She's an actress that is basically what I want to know. Basically, you came out of the womb acting, right? I mean, you knew what you wanted to do in this life from a small age, and you've made it happen throughout your life, right?
Well, yes. And by the way, thank you so much. I have gratitude to be on this show. I just definitely want to say that, you know, I've done a lot of interviews, but what I really find wonderful about this show is that you're connecting to my core, which is sort of where all the good things happen. All good things happen out of your gratitude. So, yes, I started at a very young age because I knew very early what I wanted to do. And, you know, I'm going to tell you people, there's a lot of people who don't know what they want to do in life. And I'm going to tell you that at one point you really did. But somebody might have said to you, you can't do that, or that's silly, or they might have put a judgment on it. So if you're asking yourself in life, like, you know, gosh, I don't care about anything, you need to do a little soul searching because honestly, and that may change, you know, what you want to do when you're little changes as you get older too. You know, you might want different things more. You might want to just experience the dance of life. But just answering your question, Jen, I started, you know, I knew when I was 4 years old, I wanted to act. And I went to an agent, like my parents didn't know anything. They were German immigrants. They were like, what's happening? We don't know this child, what she wants to do. You know, like we were, you know, lower middle class. And I was raised as an only child. So my parents had more time and they were also older. My parents were in their 40s when they had me. So by then, I think they were just a little bit exhausted. And they were like, okay, well, how do we do this? So when I was 4, they took me, you know, we got to an agency and they didn't take me. My hair was too short and curly and they said, like, grow it out. You know, it wasn't the style.
Wow.
And I think I was probably too undisciplined as a child. You know, I was a child. And, you know, and at that time, it wasn't like a lot of kids did that. I mean, necessarily, you know, certainly people who were, you know, out of the, you know, immigrant people coming into the country, not knowing what to do. So I, like you said, worked very hard until I was 10 years old, where I never forgot my dream. And there's 2 aspects. I never forgot my dream, and my parents didn't stand in my way. And I showed them how I proved it to them, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to let you ask more questions, but I just want to give you that background of, you know, I teach acting and I to kids now. And so one of the things that's really important is, you know, when you want something, if you want to become something, there's 2 things that are very important. One is you can't choose when that thing will happen, but if you work hard, it will happen.
Exactly.
So you have to do it. I always tell even my kids, don't tell people you want to be something. Show it. Do it. Let's see it. And then if they do it, then people will see it and they go, oh, well, that person can do that. But if you say, you know, I want to be a famous blah, 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 I want to do this. Well, that's very easy to say. So I have so much information, but all I can say is that this is very important, is certainly in my lifetime. I came from a German family, so it's like we work hard. I don't even know if it's in the genes, you know, but you
No,
do.
it is.
And
you and I have very similar childhoods where I knew out of the womb what I wanted to do. And there's a picture of me thanking the Academy, and it was my dog. And I have giant
Oh.
sunglasses on that are my mom's sunglasses, and my dad always put it up on the wall in the montage. And I'm like, no, I was thinking the Academy. And and it's
You had
hilarious.
big
I don't
dreams.
even know who they were, but at 4 years old, I was thinking the Academy.
And that's
And
wow.
Because
I went.
sorry,
Yeah,
Jen.
go ahead, Pearl.
When I was young, I wanted to be a teacher, and Diane, my parents are part German, so we were very, hard workers ourselves in our family. But I always wanted to be a teacher, but I never was afforded the opportunity to go to college. So here I am now. I'm still teaching, but it's just a different way of teaching.
That's so true.
Oh, and I'm going to tell you something, which is another awesome thing. Okay, I just graduated from college. I got my BA, I think it was 2017.
Wow.
No, wait, yeah, 17. So what I'm saying is, why not go back to school if you want? Yeah,
I'm going.
I started school.
I'm still working online.
Acting. Yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, why do we stop ourselves as adults?
It's crazy.
To go after ourselves. To me, and I just have to say, this is such a bizarre thing. The one thing you have to say is I've never lost my innocent hope of life since I was a kid, and I've been through a lot of things. It's not like I've had I have not had a golden life, which I think some people do. Some people have a very easy life.
Yeah.
And everyone doesn't have the same script, right?
Right.
But I think when you have a difficult life, it makes a story more interesting. It makes it richer, and it makes you have more, then grow your confidence and your self-esteem grows. So those of you who have had trauma in your life or, some hardship, obviously, the key is to keep moving forward and
Exactly.
the belief in yourself. Right?
Yeah.
There's so many things.
Now, Pearl, as a teacher yourself, Pearl, I wanted to get you, and then I know you have a question for Diane, as I love doing this moderation type thing. It's fun. I don't have to ask questions, just kind of lead the whole conversation with such a great crew. Pearl, your whole focus as a life coach is teaching people. You teach, you listen, then you teach through your story, your experiences. So kind of share with us specifically gratitude, especially adding Gratitude Radio Network to part of this and Your Beautiful Day. How important gratitude is when you teach people as a life coach.
I think it's a lot too, like what Diane said, because, we never know what life's going to hand us, and our script it's not all the same written. And so for me, as a young age, my dad did 2.5 tours in Vietnam. And up until 13, I didn't really have my dad in my life. So I, was the person who helped my mom while she was working, because back then when they went off to war, you didn't get to stay on base. So we'd go to upstate New York. And so I learned a lot from my granny as well. My granny, we'd be in the kitchen making cinnamon rolls and just all kinds of things, and just the lessons in life I learned from her about, there's nothing that can hold you back. No matter what is in front of you, you have you have a vision. Back then they didn't call it vision. Granny just said, you know what you want, just go do it. You can do it. Mm-hmm. And so I think I've always had that gratitude of knowing from my granny and then my mom, knowing that I can do anything I want to do. There's nothing to stop me except me. Mm-hmm. And so, mm-hmm. I've come through so much in those years of, then I met my husband at 19 in California, and we immediately, once we got married, tried to have a family, and for 10 years that didn't happen. And we were blessed to have our oldest son born of our heart through adoption, and then years later we had our younger son through infertility help. And so I always had that gratitude of knowing that somebody out there had given me this opportunity. If it wasn't for the scientist and the birth mom and things like that, I wouldn't have had this opportunity. So when I work with my women that I work with, because I work with some men, but mostly I work with women, and they've gone through all kinds of things, from an abusive relationship to not being happy in their body, to just different things. And so we sit down and we talk about, well, what is it you really want? And Diane, I think it was really awesome when you said, somewhere when we were younger, somebody told us we can't do something. So when it comes to that, we really want to do that, in the back of our head, that self-talk is going, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. And so changing that mindset, and that's what I think it's so awesome to be able to play it forward and help women change that mindset that you can do it. just have to picture yourself doing it. You know, I'm working with a lady right now and she's trying to change jobs. She's like, I don't think the job's out there. I said, that's because you're telling yourself it's not out there. You need to get up every morning and tell yourself the job I want is there and it's waiting for me, and be happy to know it's going to come. It's not always going to be when we want it, but like Diane said,
the timing.
Yeah, it'll manifest
it. And so for me, in meeting Jenn, I met Jenn last October. It's just like, I think she was that soul sister that was waiting out there for the two of us to come on this path of really reaching out to women and bringing on other women and other guests like Diane to say, you know, it doesn't matter who you are, nothing stops you, and be grateful for what you have today. And if you're listening to this right now and you're in a valley, just understand that climbing the mountain is going to be the best part to that accomplishment. You're going to have so many lessons that you learn that when you look back, you're going to be able to teach somebody that lesson you learned.
Yes, and everyone has their, you know, we all have to sort of find our purpose. And sometimes through that, you find out, like, okay, purpose gives you like meaning in life. Like, so if you're like a down person right now, you have to say to yourself, well, you know, what is my purpose in life? I mean, in the big picture, what am I, you know, I think the biggest problem with happiness sometimes is that we think that it's, I mean, a right, and that it's just right here and it's got to come to us. When, and you're talking about gratitude, when if you say to yourself, what is my purpose in the world? Am I here to bring happiness? Am I here to bring, you know, care? Am I here to bring lessons? Am I here to bring, you know, entertainment? So you have to figure that out, and that changes it could change every 6 months if you're that kind of person where, you know, maybe you get bored of doing one thing. I mean, that's a personality, you know, trait. So we got to get off our backs and get off our self-berating. That wastes so much time. Like, really, it is. Like, if you're a self-berating person, like, oh, you know, I'm not good enough. Or I'm like, you know, I mean, stop. You're wasting a lot of your energy and your focus on the negativity when you could be saying, you know, what can I do to make this better? You know, what can I do? Right. I mean, okay, I'm sorry. you brought up a whole thing.
You're really hitting important points that is important, that I know that Jenn talks about all the time, and why she started Gratitude Radio Network and your show is you want to bring hope. You want to bring a sense that you can do things. I think that people in their mind believe that they can't do something, they never will. And I work with clients all the time. The biggest thing that keeps them from doing it is not believing they can. And that, Jenn, is something that you want to teach so many women out all over the world, that they can do it, right?
Right, because one of the cool things, Diane, is that I went back from my childhood. I went back after my second divorce. I realized I had been completely derailed from doing what I'm supposed to do in life. And it was because of the people saying, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, why? And having that child wonder, why not? And I went back and unfroze parts of my life that were frozen. Exactly what you're saying. I went back to dig out who I was in the beginning and where I got, you know, I can do anything, and I know I can do anything, and I have. I've done exactly what I wanted to do. Maybe not on the scale that I want it yet, but it's here and it's manifesting. And it's something that you had done as a kid. Same thing, self-discipline. You just put the blinders on and you went, you know. And when you came back to that audition after they said, come back with your hair straight and you know, instead of curly. Yeah. You went back with your hair straightened, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, because I did what it took to get to where I want to go. But I want to say this too. Why do we give other people more power than we give ourselves? Like, when someone, you said something, it's interesting. You said, when somebody says, you know, I can't do this, and you said, why? You're even giving someone else the power by asking them why. You're asking them a question. Right. What I'm saying is, right, what we want to say is, if someone says to you, you can't do it, you say, that's what you think. And you let it go. Like, you don't give them the power. It's so fascinating how we allow other people the power of our lives, like who we are. And for people who have certainly been like even abused and stuff, there is something very important, and that is comfort factor. And that is when you go back to patterns of self-destruction, you're going back to places where it feels comfortable. But comfort isn't what we're talking about. We're talking about hard work. We're talking about refocusing to a place where, it's going to feel weird. Yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yeah, you're going to be like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just trusting this is going to be good. And that is that transition of that you have to go through in order to make your life better is how it's supposed to feel. Okay, until you get there and it becomes the norm. All right,
so
there,
cool.
whatever.
I've been in business for a little while now. One of my sons asked me one time, so Mom, it's not, sometimes it's not great right out of the gate, right? So, well, Mom, you keep pushing forward. It's not going the way you want to. Why don't you just give up? I'm like, because that's not in my vocabulary. Just watch me.
I love that.
I don't give up. If somebody tries to tell me why or you can't do that, I'm like, well, watch me. I was the top female loan officer in my company that I worked with in Virginia, and there was 40 men. There was only 4 women. I was the top female, and I was number 3 in the company. And they kept telling me, you can't do this. I'm like, watch me. I came out of the gate 8 months pregnant, started calling out an office because I lost all my loan officers I used to work with. And they're like, there's no way to work. I'm like, I took over the office with the worst production. And even after I had my son, we were the #1 office within 6 months. So I was like, don't tell me I can't.
Well, you're bringing up something that is so important. And I was going to say this. I'm stubborn. So how about you ladies? Are you stubborn?
Yeah, stubborn. Yeah, get that. Yeah.
Irish.
That can work for your favor. It can also not work very well too.
Yeah.
But stubbornness is part of what you got to, when you're saying that, it makes me think, wow, right. Got to be stubborn,
Diane,
make it happen.
Was your first gig with the soap opera As the World Turned?
Well, so okay,
what was your first big break? Your first real?
My big break. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. That's so cool. Like I would have to say the soap opera probably was it was my stepping stone. Like I did a play, and like, are you talking about big roles? The soap opera was good training, and it was good. It was a big break in the sense that, I worked every other week for, like 6 months or something. Like, you had to memorize dialogue really quickly. I was kind of thrown into the pool, with my clothes on, kind of like, okay, let's go. Right. And so that was really, sometimes I thought, okay, well, I maybe don't know all the aspects of how to do this or anything, right? You just go in, but I'm going to be brave. And I'm going to just go for it. And if they think I can do it, well, certainly, then whatever. Here we go. Let's give it a shot. So there's sort of a, kind of like, I didn't doubt myself. I just, again, moved forward and just sort of went, okay, well, I'm going to do my best, And I learned so much. And I have to say, I experienced like a real surge of confidence after I finished it, because I thought, well, if I could do that, I can do anything. That was, sort of, because it's so high pressure. And soap opera is very high pressure. You get maybe max 2 takes, max, usually it's 1 take. Let's move on. Or you did that take and you went, well, that really wasn't as good as I could do it. And they, okay, no, we're moving. So then you go, oh, wait, that means the next time I have to do my really, really best for the first take, because they're going to just move on. So,
there's no, there's no warm up. Right?
No. Oh, no.
There's like no rehearsal.
No. I mean, at the time in the 80s.
That's what people don't understand. Yeah. You're just told to go. There's no rehearsal like you have in a play. And to me, a soap opera is very much a filmed play.
Yes. Oh, very nicely put. Yes, exactly. The best you could do is maybe before you could get together with the other person who is the actor who you're doing the scene with. Maybe they'll do it with you, but maybe they won't, because they're a regular in the show and they're tired and they've been doing this 24/7. So they may just be like, whatever, let's just get this done. I'm like done with this.
5 episodes a week, right, Diane? That's the difference. You shoot for a show 13 weeks, 17 weeks, but it's every day, 5 days a week for a soap. That's the difference. That's where
Yes, with dialogue the next day. Like, and I'm not talking just a line. I'm talking like pages and pages. So it's so bizarre. I think, actually the soap opera actors are the most, I mean, people sometimes they say, oh, well, soap opera acting. And the truth is they have the most amazing memories. And I look back at like even the older people, I'm like, oh my gosh, how do they remember all those lines? It's just too much. Like, they're really skilled. And again, in the entertainment business, there's a lot of technical aspects that come with each different medium. So, films demand different things than television, than commercials, than, a guest starring on something, than a regular. They're all bringing out different things. And I mean, with all of them, my goal was to touch on everything because I liked the entertainment business and I wanted to see what is it like to do voiceover? What's it like to do commercials? I have always been, that's sort of was my personal goal of, being an actress. I didn't want to just stay in film. I wanted to experience all the different things. And I think that's now becoming a total advantage in teaching, teaching drama.
Well, you're well-rounded. You're well-versed. You wanted to know the industry and curious about it.
And be able to come from a place of like, if people say I'm an actress, I'm like, oh yeah, I am an actress. I've done it all. And so this is where, I can come from a place of knowledge of what it is. Right. And then also the truth,
Right.
Because whatever. Keep going.
Well,
what mentors? Go ahead, Pearl.
Oh, sorry, Jen. One of the things that I liked that I was reading that you shared at one time when you talked about going into interviews was that, or auditions. Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the.
Right. That's how you're learning the lingo, yeah.
But I love what you talked about, and for me, this really hit close to what I do. With my women, and that is that you talked about the self-discipline, self-talk, that you went into every audition as an opportunity. And what my thing is when I talk and coach with my clients is, things are not just handed to you. So when you have that opportunity, what are you doing with that opportunity? And when I do, we have yearly retreats that I do with women, and we go away for a weekend, we hang in our PJs, which I'm excited Jen's coming this year for the first time. But that's what we talk about those things about, the self-talk and self-discipline. And then what are you doing with those opportunities that lead you to the dream or vision that you have on your goal sheet? And I thought that was so awesome that at a young age, you learn that. Like you were so disciplined with the school and going to auditions, going back home, bring yourself to the city. Can you speak more
and
to
bring
that?
your happiness with you? You don't come with the energy of outcome. You go with the energy of I enjoy the process. And how do you do that is like going for an audition as an example. When I say this, I'm bringing it full circle to even today. When I go for an audition for something, I say to myself, like I may go for a project and might think, I don't know if I really like the project. So then I say, okay, wait, I got to kick myself out of the head of the outcome. Because you know what? You never know how it's going to be directed and how it's going to turn out. So when then I come back and I say, well, what is it that I love about this particular audition? Do I love the character? Do I love the dialogue? Do I love the sense of humor, the tone? And when I go in, I know that my goal is to do it as if I got the job already, and then do it as that. It's like, oh, okay, I got the job. Don't worry about it. Now I'm going to do the role, the audition, and I'm just doing the show, so people get to see what my thing is. And so I'm giving my interpretation. And then if I do not get the job, even if it's like a project, oh, I love this project, and I might be disappointed that we're not talking about like emotional connection, but the world is funny. You're not where you shouldn't be. Like maybe this project isn't really meant for me. Maybe it's not. Maybe in the future I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't do that job because this and this happened. So you don't know, like you get what you are ready for. You get what's meant to happen. If you're not ready for it, there's certain projects that like, I think if I had gotten it, I would not have been ready for it. And actually it would have been too overwhelming for me. And maybe I would have, maybe not made the best choices in life. So life it's interesting. And there's where the gratitude is,
I couldn't deal with what you deal with in the rejection, Jen, and what Diane's able to deal with in rejection.
Yeah.
It's difficult. Like
I don't see it as rejection. People have always said that. I'm like, where?
I really want this job. we all, Jen and
Mm-hmm.
Pearl and I and Diane too, and where you go in, you say, I really love this, I want this job, and then you don't get
Mm-hmm.
it. Imagine doing that hundreds of times in your career and with a no. That's tough.
3 times a day.
But you don't take it personally. It is, I'm not right for what they want. In that moment, they're looking for something, but I'm not what they're looking for. You know, if I go into an audition and they want a, 6 foot, blonde, girl with big eyebrows and giant teeth, whatever. I don't even know what to say. Like just somebody who's completely, I have big eyebrows, but anyway, something that's completely different. No matter how much I want it or work hard, I won't get it because that's not what they're looking for.
Right.
So, but I'll come in and do a great job. And then they'll go, you know what? We had that other girl. Maybe let's bring her in because she did a really good job and she had a good attitude.
Right.
And good attitude is everything. People will hire someone with a good attitude over a bad attitude because they know they can work with them. And this is a very important part where you were talking about life coaching. Mm-hmm. Very important. Yep. And let's be honest, would you want to work with someone who did not have a problem-solving head? Would you want to work with somebody who's like, yeah, we can make that work?
Right. That's so true.
What would you want?
Yeah, it's so true. I have had clients come into me. They're like, well, the last coach I worked with, she told me to do this, this, and this. I'm like, well, did you want to do it? Like, no. I'm like, okay, that's the difference between me and you. I know you have it. My role is not to tell you what to do. My role is to help you see it inside, help you dig it out, and let's find the tools to make it work.
Yes. And then you'll be happy.
Pearl, that's a definition of a coach right there.
Yes. But unfortunately, there's some out there that don't take that approach when they're coaching. They're telling you, you need to do this, 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 and this. And it's like, well, they'll never get it done.
Consultant, not a coach.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Nicely said.
And being on the flip side of it as a producer and as a director, I know I'm looking for a character. I'm looking for that character that fits it. I can't shoehorn someone into the script. Yeah. They have to be that person. And once I could wrap my head around that, then I understood all the cattle calls that I went to. But what I did notice.
Beautiful. I'm glad you said that. Exactly. As a producer, it's not personal. It is that you love maybe all the actors that come in, but you're like, I'm looking for this because this is going to tell my story better, or this is going to be clear. And that's exactly right. And it's the job of the actor to bring it to you. Just do your best. Right. And then if you need something else, you'll go, oh, wait, who was that actor? We need a part of this, and this person's perfect for it.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's the difference. And that was really what opened my eyes, as being on the flip side of it and realizing everybody, you love everybody that comes in practically. And you want the right person, and the people that especially for my crew, my sets are legendary because everybody gets along. Everybody has great food. We're all one.
Nice.
And our focus, right? There's salads galore. Uh-huh. You don't have to worry about anything. There's food, If someone needs to take their medication, go take your medication. Take care of each other. Yeah. It's in Hollywood, as you know, it's hard because if someone has diabetes, if they have something, they're afraid to let anybody else know. Where I'm the complete opposite.
Because they don't want to be a problem. It's like, oh my gosh.
It's not a problem. We're taking a break anyway. Yeah. You just hurry up and wait. Who needs what? Okay, I'm the mom. I'm a mom, mother of gratitude. Yeah. So my set is everybody's happy. My set is for what do we need? And when you have that family.
That's a good producer. The good mom is a good producer, right? It's like, that's the same
that.
Right? Yeah.
And you play it forward in that direction. Of everybody, because then you have a really good product at the end of it. But it's hard to know when you're in those lines, and when you're a little bloated, maybe they may hold that against you or what, because there's 20,000 other people out there.
You hold it against yourself. That's the key. You're right. What side are you on? I mean, it is interesting. As the actor, when you're the actor and you have not been on the other side of producing or doing things, you don't see that perspective. And during my time in the 80s, actors were actors. They were not directors. They were not producers. They were not writers. Meaning, if you did that, you didn't tell anyone you did it. You were only on one side. You were the actor. It was like doctors are doctors, actors are actors. Yeah, one job. Today, thank goodness, you can do many jobs, and you can be seen in many different occupations because of the way the world is. So that's a blessing. Oh my gosh. If you're a young actor, performer, yes, write your own material. Yes, make your own shows too, because your knowledge of being on both sides will really put things in perspective and help you.
I agree.
In all ways.
More, Diane, they put people in a box a lot now. You have to specialize in one thing. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? That's not me.
Yeah.
And so I guess being an entertainer myself in the professional wrestling, I was behind the camera, producing, doing all these different things, not just performing. And then you get in this entrepreneur thing. You have to figure out a niche. Well, I said, well, that's just not who I am. I want to have multiple things and learn multiple things because it gets boring. But I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Can I? The biggest lie it has been, and even today, like I actually talked to somebody about this, is that the biggest lie is you have to do one thing. But the smart people do many things, and they all do it at the same time. And when you do many things, something is bound to go, and it's very exciting. And for those who are very, very intelligent, you're going to fly because you're going to be so happy that you can go and do all those things,
Be willing to learn new things. That's the other part, that even though I can't do this, I'm going to figure out how to do it, but then I might hire somebody to do it for me, but at least I know how to do it. Then I have the knowledge to speak to other people about it. If we are always thinking we're going to constantly be the same, it gets old, and you just feel like it's Groundhog Day regardless of what you do. And we saw this from the coronavirus.
Nicely.
Right?
That was great. Exactly.
Doing the same thing over and over again and not making changes and not having a schedule. It was so important for me to keep a structured schedule throughout, even though I'm just always at home, and keep going.
Well, and now you're talking about that discipline, this structured schedule. Right. And this is, even with the coronavirus now, how do you are creating your own structured schedule during a time where you can do anything. Right. I love having the freedom because I am structured. Some people just can do that. But if you're not, don't get down on yourself. You need time to ramp up and learn how to be. So this is where working with a life coach or, working with somebody, a friend, or being able to learn the skills. Again, we're not all born with the same information, and we need to reach out for the things we don't know. And only you know what you don't know, know?
That's true.
I sound like Curtis from Better Off Dead now. It's really bad, really, right?
That's my favorite. Oh my God. Pearl, you want to go with that one?
So I love that movie. As we're talking about, and Neil, you talk about having different things to do. It's funny because one of the things, and part of why I went through my life coaching certification, is because we moved here to Florida from Virginia, and Jen's heard this in my story before, but our goal was I was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and I thought, oh, that's my role. However, for 15 years, that's what I did. And when my oldest son started getting close to graduating high school, I was taking this identity and destiny class, and I had a friend call me out and said, we had to write our identity, and everything in mine still talked about being a mom. And it still talked about my older son. And my friend called me out and said, where are you in that story? And don't you have another son? And I was like, that was like, wow. So now that's why today when I go and I speak on platforms, I talk about, my name is Pearl, and it's a beautiful name, but I'm a beautiful person. And, you got to find your Jen, you got to find your Diane, you got to find your Neil. You need to find who that person is, because that person needs to come first, because that person you need to take care of. And all the things like we're talking about having a self-discipline and self-talk, telling yourself, I'm important, and it's okay for me to be first, because if I take care of me, taking care of my kids and, my spouse.
Everything follows. You have to have self-care is very important because it allows you to care for others.
Yes, absolutely.
You can't, because the world will run you ragged, right? Like the world,
Yeah.
So you must.
That's why I love what Neil said about you have different things to do. And so I know you have 2 kids, Diane, and I think your daughter's in comedy, right? And your son does music?
Yes.
So
thank you for remembering.
You're welcome.
How old are they?
Oh my gosh. My daughter just turned 24, and my son is, what would you say?
How is that possible? You're so young looking.
Oh, Thank you. Oh gosh.
How is that possible to have a 27-year-old?
Yeah, no, 24.
24.
But yeah, but still, like, 24, and my son is 21, and that is crazy.
That's right around
They're
the age
still
of my
tiny.
boys.
They're tiny. They're really tiny. They're like babies. They're babies for me. And I always make sure that they know, like, I love and respect and so happy that they have grown into these awesome people and doing amazing things. But they're always my babies, which I think is such an important part of emotional. Like, you can always come home to your mom and be with your mom and let down, and I don't know, just it's important to be able to allow yourself to be the baby with one relationship with somebody where they take care of you, and you can just talk and get things out, and and you can learn things from them. It's very, or be, taken care of, like, I'll get you something, I'll do this for you, I'll save this money for you, I'll do, that kind of thing. So, but that's probably because that was my relationship with my mom was, she was really so, my mom was like a wise woman. And now she was like older, I would almost say that she would be like being raised by a grandmother, that kind of thing. So, but I wanted to say with Better Off Dead, I wanted to bring that up because I love the film, and I also am writing a book about it right now, which is about bringing this positive energy and the gratitude and everything and hopefully I'll have it done by the end of the year, before Christmas. But it is a tribute book towards Better Off Dead, because to me that film had such great role models for kids, and it brings back great memories for adults. And I feel like I have the quote from the film. I actually kept it. And when I went to conventions, all the people that love that film and put it on, I really am telling you right now, if you love Better Off Dead, you're a good person, because that's just the way it goes. You're a good person. That's it. Because if you don't get that film, there's no way. Like you're good. Only good people like that film, right? It's an interesting discovery that I found.
That's awesome. Who are some of your acting mentors along the way? Do you still keep in contact with, or how do you get mentoring growing up?
Oh, mentoring. Well,
mentoring, like life mentoring that keep, that help you in the industry. Has anybody?
Well, I know this is interesting because now I'm thinking about I never had anyone who said to me, come on, you can do it. I never had a coach like that. I had parents who just said, do what you love, be happy. So there was this room and this space for me to allow myself to be free. And then the second thing was, I guess because of the situation where my parents were older and they just, they didn't know anything about guiding or anything. So I wasn't like pushed into anything. Like some kids are pushed into it.
Right.
It's a whole other story, or pushed into whatever they want to do, or what the parents want them to do. I always say there's 3 directions you can go: what you want to do, what your parents want you to do, and what you're great at. Those are the 3 directions you can go.
Good.
Some people
do
one, some people do both, some people do all 3. But to be conscious of that is really important. And you may do that in your script of your life. You may go into all those directions. So, and if you do what you're great at, maybe you're great at accounting, but you really weren't very into it, but you're like great at math, and that's your thing, but you always wanted to be a painter, so maybe you try that, and you just work really hard and you get better at it the more you do it. Doesn't mean you're the best to start, but that's the work. So if you have somebody who maybe was an amazing artist, but then they just gave up at a certain point because they were burnt out, you, like the turtle in the hare, like the turtle, you have kept going and practice. Eventually, you will do a beautiful, amazing painting because you've learned the skills. And then, of course, what your parents want you to do. I want you to be a lawyer. You have to be a lawyer. Do you be a lawyer? Please just be a lawyer. Some kids just go, okay, I'll go to school. I'll do what you want. But after that, I'm doing my dream, So just be aware of where they are and why you're doing something. And then, that helps self-esteem and life choices. right? Life choices. So,
That's so true.
but I do have to go back to my kids. I love my kids. They're amazing. My daughter does comedy. She's on Snapchat. She does a show called Apocalypse Goals. And
Fun.
for her, I have to bring this up because this is an important part for kids. One of the things I did with my kids was when in elementary school, I gave them classes in everything to say, oh, do you like this? Do you like, sculpture? Do you like painting? Do you like instruments, music, whatever, soccer, gymnastics, whatever? I introduced them to all different things. It wasn't that they had to do it forever. It was that where is the interest? And the kids don't know their interest until it's exposed, right?
Right, exactly.
And then in middle school, right, when you're young, and then in middle school, it was sort of like that's when you kind of have to start defining something. You do start seeing the interest in middle school, happen. That's when, like, I want to be this, I want to do this. Exactly. And then you allow them to explore that because they may do it. Like my daughter wanted to be a vet and then she realized, oh, that's not what I thought it was going to be. And then she changed. But you have to let them explore into it until they figure out if it's for them or not. And then in high school, that is the time where they're figuring out what they want and go for it. So my daughter started, she did acting because she had a photographic memory. I was like, okay, well, would you like to see, because I know as an actress, your child is going to want to go there. Your children always want to experience what's close to home and they want to know what you do. So I wound up, she tried acting, but I knew that wasn't enough for her. And I was like, okay, it was a time of computers. So that's when she started getting home computer and creating her own stuff. And I said, well, maybe, what do you want to do? And she would come with scripts and she wanted to write her own thing. And then she'd act in it. And then if she needed an extra actress, I'd be in it. So, but she was driven. It was her drive. Yeah. So I let her do that. And then from that, I said to her, you're doing something that has not been done before, meaning if you want to have your own show and you want to do with comedy, this is a very niche thing. In the entertainment business, this is mostly, older people. They hire younger people. You go on a show. You might work for them. The entertainment business was not open to women until Tina Fey and Amy Poehler for comedy, people. So I said to her, if you do this, it is going to be much harder than had you decide just to be an actress and work for someone else. So understand that you're creating something that hasn't been created yet, and be kind to yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. It will be a longer journey, but it is, don't be like, well, this should be happening, because it's not. If you're doing something no one's ever done before, you got to get off your back, and you just got to realize you're doing something totally unique and cool that the world is maybe not ready yet. And I told her the world may not be ready for you yet, but keep going. And reason I'm big long story for that is finally she has her own show with her comedy partner on Snapchat. Now these are 5-minute episodes, but it's practice to doing a big show. So
that's right.
What I'm saying is
perfect.
Right. So this is perfect. She can handle it. She can get to understand what it's like to create your own show. So her thing was Sunny in Philadelphia. She really wanted to have that kind of a feeling of a show.
Oh my God.
And those people created it, right?
Mm-hmm. So Diane, my kids came to me and had a Danny DeVito intervention and said that they love Danny DeVito to the point to where it's like, they were like, can you date him? And I'm like, what? What? Like, can I please? Right. And because they're 13, they're 15 and 12. And they were like, at this point, that was last year. And they're like, so please, can we watch this?
Interview him, call him, get an interview with him.
And they were just like, please, Mom, please. We love Danny DeVito.
I'll work on it.
And I'm laughing going, I didn't watch Taxi in the womb. I didn't watch.
And we had that with Jermaine Clement. My daughter was crazy about Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords. So there you go. Yes, you must get him on this show. Go ask him.
Right, it's out there.
Danny DeVito.
We need your help, Diane. Get us Danny DeVito.
I need to be cool, Diane. I need to be cool for my kids.
Yes, stay cool. Yeah, you got to do it. You do it for your children in the back of your mind. Say, this is no big deal. He's an awesome performer. I'm going to go and ask him to be on the show. because it is all up. And if he says no, then he's not ready. So maybe next time, right?
Right.
But he knows that that's the whole point of it. But it comes from truth and love.
Right.
It comes from love,
Exactly.
And
That's what
to
I'm talking
have
about.
that
It's
type
not a
of show
religious
is
thing. It's
awesome.
it's a energy thing,
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
So Diane, how was it challenging for you as working while having children, being a working mom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now this is a great question. I stopped acting during the time I was raising my kids. Not because, well, there's a couple of things. One is with acting, I always felt pulled and what I was doing would require a lot of travel. I traveled a lot with my acting. And I was like, no, not with my kids. I don't want to have a nanny. I want to raise my own children. This is now a gift. Talk about gratitude. Like, oh my gosh, like this is the golden time. This is where you work all your life and you have a child. And if you have that opportunity, not to be taken for granted, this was my center. I was like, and then I wasn't the kind of person who was like, oh, I always want to have kids. That wasn't my center. My center was always just, I don't know, when you do something, commit. So just like with my acting, I was like, I am here. I am now here. Whatever happens in the future, if I get there, if I do wind up doing things, I'm not worried about that. I am present with my kids, and every moment with them is golden and is an opportunity. And that doesn't mean every age I'm great with, like I was really great maybe when they're really young, then kind of in the sort of maybe in the middle school area, like maybe not that. Well, you have to step back when your kids go to middle school because they don't let you participate so much in school. And so you learn
hard
about your strengths and weaknesses with your children as they grow up, because you start realizing where your strength and weakness is, so like, for instance, in math, that's just not my thing. Okay. So, I was like, you do not want to come to me for the math thing. You definitely want to find other people. And both my kids are like math geniuses. And I'm like, I do not know where you get it. I'm lost right from the beginning, and, go for it. Like, I'm so proud of them. But, and by the way, like my son, he's a musician. Now, I knew nothing about music, but here's an example. If your child is interested in something that you don't have a specialty in, like you don't know. And I was like, okay, well, we'll find the person who does. And if you love this, well, okay, we'll go get this instrument, or okay, I'll lug this thing, or we'll try this, carry this. Of course, my son picked the double bass, which is the heaviest of all.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like carrying this giant thing. I'm like, I don't know, but because of that, he is now majoring. He's at DePaul, and he's got a performance major, and he actually got hired to play in a classical orchestra in college. He's playing at the Chicago Civic Orchestra, the double bass, and like this was his dream, but he's also writing his own music, and he came out with an album. And it's like, but it's all because I am in the head of go for it, pursue your dreams. Why are you letting other people limit you if you want to do something? So it all comes full circle, and they're happy.
Congratulations on him doing that. That's huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so true about let them live their dreams. My youngest, he goes to school here, to a local school, and he came home in Christmas as a sophomore and went back as a junior. And so, we were having conversations. So are you going to finish out your senior year? Are you going to graduate early? It's like, no, I think I'm going to finish it all out. I'm like, okay, then fine, then finish it out. You don't need to rush, enjoy that second half of the college years of your last year. And so, that's what he's doing. And it's, I'm like, it's totally up to you, but it's whatever you want to do. If you want to come out earlier, we kind of went through the pros and cons about coming out before the rest of your class, that the jobs that may or may not be available versus staying and graduating with your class. So
yes, and college, let's face it, college is not about the skill you learn. It's about growing up. It's about doing your own laundry and falling in love. And when you fall in love, do you lose your identity, or do you still have it? It means like being broken up. Oh my gosh, I'm heartbroken. It's about, I'm under pressure. I got to get this paper in. But did I, how much time do I need to get ready for it? Can I stay up late? Can I not stay up late? What is, it's about, oh my gosh, like I failed at that. How do I feel about, can I still deal with myself? Can I pick myself up? That's to me what college is about. And so if you can understand that head, then when you graduate, it's not the pressure about getting a job. It's about how I'm in my own life. What do I want my life to be like after all the lessons I've learned going to college?
Yes.
You know, what's my vision now? I'm in my life now.
Right.
You know,
you were you touched on about the kids in middle school and then high school. And one of the things I've had conversations with a few teachers in high school is I'm like, in high school there's so much pressure to pick what they want to do when they go to college, and their major. Right. I said we need to have
change.
It can change, and my thing is we need. I think especially for young girls, we need to have something in that freshman sophomore year that there's some sort of mentorship. Hey, if you're thinking you want to do a real estate or be an actress or whatever that is, let's mentor them up with some of those successful women and let them share the tough part of the story and the fun part of the story, and and maybe even some shadowing. So because by the time they get done with high school, they may be like, I don't want to do that, and then they're all of a sudden going, oh my gosh, now what am I going to pick?
I have some very good advice for young women. Okay, I've always felt that young women are in a very interesting position, because I know for me, because I always feel like young women kind of have to start their career, if they can, earlier than a guy. Why? Because once a guy, technically in our society, and this could be changing, which is, I'm hoping whatever life flows it, but certainly when I was growing up, when you are a young woman, your idea of being in a relationship and having children are always sort of at the kind of in the future. Unless you're not ever planning to be married, you kind of always are in a situation where everything happens a little faster. So like, if you're going to have a career, have it as early as possible, because if you decide to have kids, once you do that, you're splitting your attention, or you're changing your intention, at least while you're starting to have your family. This is natural. This is not a penance. This is just like, you're not losing, you do not lose your identity by having children. You just have to decide like where you want to put your heart, right? Like your interest. Like all I can say is, I think if for me, if I had had kids at a younger age, it would have been very hard on me, because I'm the kind of person who likes to put all my energy into what I'm doing in a way. I can't explain it, but it's not like you can't split it, but I'm that kind of person. So what I'm saying to young women is, start in high school, start early, figure out what you want to do, go for it. If you decide to change, you'll change it. But with a guy, he's going to go for his career, and he knows whatever career he goes is going to be, he's going to work most of his life. Right? I'm sorry to say this, Neil. I feel bad for Neil. It's like, you're going to work your life. So that's why maybe guys pull back from doing that, because they're like, I really don't want to work all my life. Can I just play and have some fun before I start having a family, supporting it, whatever? And even if not, going after a business. So when you're younger women, that's why it's important to listen to young women and to, like you said, find a mentor. Because I tell my daughter, like, she knows, like, she's in love with somebody, but does that relationship pull you into going, oh, I want kids, I want family? Of course you're going to want that in a relationship. But for me, I met my true love when I was 22, but we didn't get married until I was 27. Why? Because I was still going after my career, and he was too.
Right.
So we knew each other, and I dated other people, before, but that's, you don't have to do that right away, is what I'm saying. There are choices.
Right.
Yes.
Pearl, how much more time do we have? Because I know we just have a couple minutes.
About 5 minutes.
Okay, good.
Sorry, I'm talking a lot.
So you want to go to the latest projects? We know the book's coming out.
Yes. Tell us about your books and the projects you have coming up.
Thank you. So I basically have, I have a couple of books on Amazon right now. If you I would say a great mentor book is my first book, Diane Franklin, The Excellent Adventures of the Last American French Exchange Babe of the 80s. That is a great book it's a coffee table book, but isn't that a great title? It's like, I did it because I thought, talk about gratitude. I'm like, who knows if somebody knows who I am? So I'm just going to put it all in one title, and let's see. And the first book I have is a great book for young people to look, and it's also great for people who have, you know, who love the nostalgia. So that's awesome. My second book was about I was the first actress to bring curly hair into the 80s. I was that girl. It's crazy. So my second book is called The Excellent Curls of the Last American French Exchange Babe of the 80s. That book is also on Amazon. And that's really focusing on the first film I did, which was complete accident. And that's Last American Virgin. So that's for those people who love that film. It's like a heartbreaker film. So that's for that. And then this book is going to be a tribute to Better Off Dead. So I'm very excited about it because it's going to be an uplifting, positive book. I want people to be able to share it with their family. And it's just a great Americana story of happiness. And I've got great interviews from the other actors in the film. And I'm going to have pictures of people wearing the code and just good all energy and gratitude, seriously. So hopefully before the end of the year. But if you stay connected with me on social media, Twitter, I'm Diane Franklin 80. And on Facebook, look for official Diane Franklin under the group section. You'll see black and white pictures of my book. And Instagram, I'm at actress Diane Franklin. So if you connect with me, I'll let you know when that book is coming out.
Diane, I know that you also do speaking. How does somebody talk to you about coming and being a speaker?
Oh, you know, if you are interested in me coming in to speak, oh my goodness, definitely contact me at actressdianefranklin@gmail.com because I do public speaking and motivational speaking, and I also, and I'm still acting. I've done, I have like 3 films coming out this year too. Plus I have Amityville Murders online right now, and While He Got Wasted online. So I have a comedy and a drama online. I think it's like Netflix or something. So
real quick, Diane, what is your favorite project to do? Is it horror, comedy, love? What's your favorite thing?
Oh, wow. Well, I would say, oh, that's so good. I love variety. I mean, I love comedy. I'd have to say comedy or romance, really. I would love to do a romance. That'd be really fun. I just did actually somebody during this quarantine contacted me, and I did a cameo role for a film that I played a 80s VJ, which was really fun. So
oh my gosh, how much fun.
It's so fun. I have to say that the thing that attracts me most about acting now are the roles. Like something, it's always been that thing. And I really like interesting roles, something maybe unexpected that, you know, to play. And, but I love, you know, I love it all. I have to say it's a gift. It's fun. And as an actress, you know, I have gratitude, you know, being able to even still act today is such a gift.
So you need to be in the next Stranger Things season. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You got to get your agent to get that gig, especially I don't think they filmed it all, or if it's the last season, I don't know. I'm a huge Stranger Things fan, and we don't know.
Oh my God.
To put off till.
Well, tell them you want me in it, because I mean, I actually, you know, a lot of times these places, you know, they companies, you know, they need to hear it from people who want them in it. So like you know, if you like a show and you want an actor to be in it, you should contact like the people from the show and say, please bring this so and so person in. Absolutely. They listen to that. So.
And then another 80s show, the Goldbergs, I'll have to reach out to that too, because I think that
definitely
about you, because so awesome.
Yes, for sure. So I'm into it. I would love it.
Awesome. Well then, yeah, I would like to work with you.
Merci buckets. I would love to. We have the same energy.
I would really, really like to work with you. Neil's going to be helping me with my project Aurora. Richard Grieco's in it. He's helping me produce it and direct it.
Cool.
We're co-directing and we're both in it. But I'm in the revisions, and I'm working with a real screenwriter to help me with some of the holes that I have. So it's great. Going to either be filmed.
Well, consider me in there. Like, you know, definitely contact me. actressdianefranklin@gmail.com. There you go.
Well, here's the really cool thing is because I'm a mom and we're on a vacation. This is going to either be in St. Pete where we're writing it for the Don Cesar, or either it's going to be in Puerto Rico because of the contacts there, and one of the producers that is coming on. and then I have a producer that wants me to go to Gibraltar, but unless he puts money in, I'm not going to Gibraltar.
Right.
But I'm looking at Puerto Rico or either St. Pete. I want to be able to bring your family. If you have family, you can bring them in as extras.
Oh.
Because at this point, I mean, I'm a child of the 80s. At this point in time in my life, it's all about the fun too, of being with people that I admire and love. And I love you as a princess, and you know what I'm saying? And yes.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
Yes, that would be amazing. You are so, and look at you paying it forward. How sweet are you to even to say that? What a sweet, life affirming energy that is. That's great. You really.
Yeah, and I think it would just be fun.
Great mother of gratitude. You are, Jenn.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, how old are your kids, Jenn?
My kids are 15 and 12.
Oh.
So I've reached the stage where we got middle school and high school. And
are they boys or girls?
Girls,
boys or girls?
2 girls.
Hang on there emotionally. Hang on for the roller coaster. That's the roller coaster years. Those hormones.
Oh my God. I've now gone from like, I know nothing. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. Wait, I have to just bring this up. My daughter and I did this show called Live and Die in LA on YouTube. And one of them where we go through all chocolate, because we have like this chocolate episode because, you know, you get those PMS cravings. So definitely check that out. But she let me go on her Tinder at the time, and it was hilarious. So you will get a big kick out of it with your daughters to watch these YouTube shows. Live and Die, L-I-V.
They're horrified that I know what I know about them.
Oh.
It's like, no, I realized they weren't talking about me when they were talking about grandma's butt. I'm like, okay, are you talking about me? Or are you talking about or Instagram? Because, you know, you got some explaining to do here. So,
I don't know if you had this, but like with having 2 boys, so my one boy is very popular, and he was, you know, he's a heart grabber, and, you know, as far as looks go. So, you know, the girls would come over and I'd be like, so how are you? You know, he's like, why do you guys get to know them all?
And they call, like the girls hang on the phone, like, oh, and you're like, they like you. They're like, they like, what?
No house phone anymore. There's no house phone. There's no control, you know?
Yeah, I know. There's none.
Well, I want to thank you for being on the show today. Thank you so much for spending time with us and sharing your story of gratitude.
You are both amazing women. I'm so proud. I'm so happy to be on the show. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Neil.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure.
Neil, you're awesome for hooking me up with these ladies. Thank you so much.
You know, it's on the network. That's one thing I need to figure out is I'm a connector. That's what I do, is connect people to people. And that's how I work.
Well, you're passing it forward. This is your example. You did a great thing today, but connecting us.
Absolutely.
Playing it forward.
Bonjour, this is Diane Franklin, and you're listening to Your Beautiful Day on the Gratitude Radio Network.
What a cool show.
It was amazing. I just loved her, and like her insight of the things, her lessons that she learned, and, you know, the things that she's playing it forward to, whether to not only her daughter and her son, but to other, you know, young up and coming actors, and just she's such a teacher as well as an actress.
I admire her life. I love the fact that she knew what she was going to do when she was a kid. She stayed the course through her life, and here she is helping her kids with evolve and grow into their gifts and find them and move forward. She's really a mother of gratitude.
She really is. And I mean, the lessons she learned and knowing what she wanted at such a young age, and just taking those lessons and, you know, as you call it, playing it forward, and you know, her insight, especially about her self-discipline at such a young age, you know, that was just so awesome.
That's everything. Because your self-discipline, especially in acting, is throughout your entire life.
Yes.
It's being told no and still knowing in your heart, yes. It's being told, no, you're not what we're looking for. And it's not anything against you. It's the character that they're looking for.
It's so true. It's so true. And for somebody like me who has no clue what that whole world is like to go do that, you know, those are lessons that as a life coach I teach, you know, and talk about and coach on about, you know, every opportunity is an opportunity. Don't go into it knowing, you know, I've got that job, or I've got this goal. I'm going to hit that goal that I want to hit, or I have the vision I have. You go into it knowing you're going to get that. So.
Right. And I mean, for an actor, it can get daunting, and it hurts your self-esteem after a while if you take it personal that you're not good enough. I mean, we talk about that with women. We're not good enough because we're not skinny enough. We're not this, we're not that. We're not tall enough. We're not blonde enough, whatever. Right. But, you know, and now your butt's not big enough, right? As a society.
Right. Exactly.
You know, it's insane, but when you're an actor, every day you're told no. Every day you get up ready to be told no. You get up ready to be told no. You get up ready to be told no. But you're trying to meet those people that are making the decisions on what character they need, and if they want to work with you because you're versatile, because you have what it takes, they want you on that set.
Yes. And then,
yeah.
Like, yeah, because especially when she talks about how, you know, you may not be that part, but coming down the line because you were so prepared, I'm going to remember that. You know, I'm going to remember you may not be the person I want for the job I'm hiring right now, but you know what, when that next position comes up and I think, oh, I remember meeting so-and-so, I'm going to call you and be like, hey, are you still available? Are you still looking? You know,
right.
There's so much, you know, to take from that lesson, whether you're an actor or actress or not. Everything she talked about applies to you in everyday life, no matter what you're doing. Because in life, you are acting through your life. You are the main character of your life.
And Pearl, people don't get that.
They don't.
They still don't understand that part of it.
They don't.
You know, and if you want something, go method.
Right, and yeah, and they don't understand that. So I think that was such powerful information that she shared today.
I'm really glad we had her on our show.
Me too. So what do you have upcoming, Miss Mother of Gratitude there? What's new with you?
Oh my gosh, I've been working so hard. Let's see, I went gangster on my marketing team and I moved into their house for a couple of days. That's what happened to me. I'm able to do that, which is huge. Lil and Cindy from Long Bar Creatives to allow me to come to their house and camp out until my business plan's done, until the logos are done, with what we're doing with hiring contractors. This is a huge undertaking. I am so excited about it. And tomorrow the entire building is being pressure washed.
That's awesome. I'm excited for everything that's happening. I think it's just so awesome. And I think what you're bringing into the world is just going to be amazing.
Yeah,
and I cannot wait till people start reaping the rewards of what you're playing it forward with.
You know, what's funny is I realized this past week that I can obviously manifest stuff, right? I can manifest something really big. My goal is keeping it. How do we keep it? And I realized that that's the protection. Like, how do you manifest something? I remember saying years ago at my favorite art place that I wanted my own building. I wanted my own art studio that I remember saying all of these things and I let it go. And I didn't expect it to come back. You know, I just kind of put it out there. Right. And it's amazing how quickly some stuff develops and then how it takes forever for something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
it's being patient. It's learning how to have patience as it's manifesting.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I have enough patience. I don't need any more. Give me what I want.
And that's the thing. It's like you have to enjoy the journey of getting there. So as a manifestation is starting to happen and you're starting to see it, you have to remember you're manifesting it. It's not like somebody's just handing it to you. So you have to remember that you have to slowly work the process to get to the end of the manifestation. So,
and to protect it. You have to protect it all the way through.
So you have to take that as you start seeing it happening, and then break it down. You might need to break down the steps, like the steps of the building. How do you, moving walls, pressure wash, those are steps of the manifestation of this building that's going to open up to be this beautiful flower. So you have to go through the process. And as you said, then it becomes learning how to do the delegation and finding people like Lil and her team and, help you get there. Right. So that's the whole part of the process. And so yes, we know it's here and you're manifesting it and it's starting to come out, but you have to be patient and enjoy the ride. Enjoy the roller coaster ride of the manifestation, because it's not just because you manifest, this means it's just going to be all easy to get there. No, you're going to have the hills and valleys. So just enjoy it and bring the people and surround you with people that see the dream and want to help you build that dream, and not the people, as Diane said, that tell you that you can't do it, because you are going to do it. Sit back and watch me do it, because you're gonna miss the beautiful ride.
You're such a good life coach.
Oh, thank you. I try.
You're such a great life coach. I really appreciate you. I'm so excited about being on stage with you. I can't wait for our first lunch and learns together at the Gratitude Exchange. I think that's what we're calling it. That's what we're on this. That's what we're putting together, I think, today, is the name of the building.
Okay.
But to be able to get to name a building. Every time I would go by the arena coming into Tampa and I would see Amelia, I would be like, oh, Gratitude Arena. I just want to have my name on a building. I want it to be like my building and I want it to be big.
Right.
And I know it sounds hilarious because I was like, well, how long do they have that name for?
Because here's the thing, you're going to manifest that you're going to have your name on that arena there, right? So put it out there.
Gratitude. Some way or another to have gratitude somewhere. And how cool would it be to have somebody coming by and see the word gratitude, to see the heart. I just want the heart and the word gratitude on billboards. So when people are in traffic and when they're in their life and their neighborhoods, just to see gratitude, maybe that would change what's going on in the world.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you. Well, I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome. And I can't wait till our next podcast to bring on some amazing people.
Thank you for listening and watching Your Beautiful Day on the Gratitude Radio Network. I'm Jennifer, Mother of Gratitude, and with me
it's Pearl Sharenza with Women's Successful Living. And remember to find your inner pearl to greatness, as you remember from Jen.
You are blessed, loved, and sacred. Have a beautiful day. Mwah.